You're sitting alone in your room. The lights are dim, it's quiet, and suddenly you feel it, that invisible presence. Not a ghost, not a stranger, but you. A version of you that hasn't arrived yet. Older, wiser, maybe a little tired, maybe a little proud, maybe disappointed. Your future self is watching you right now. And the real question is, what are you showing them? Are you making them proud, or are you setting them up for regret? We live our lives as if our future is someone else's problem. We procrastinate, make excuses, cut corners, and shrug it all off like there's an infinite number of tomorrows waiting for us. But here's the truth no one likes to hear. Your future is built one decision at a time. One action, one skipped workout, one late night binge, one day where you say, I'll do it tomorrow. And your future self, they are the one who pays for it. That version of you 5 years from now. They don't just magically appear successful, fit, happy, and fulfilled. They become that way because of what you do right now, or they don't, because of what you refuse to do. Your choices today echo into that future like ripples on water. Let that sink in, because the sooner you understand that the future is not some faraway fantasy, but a very real destination shaped by your present actions, the faster you start living with purpose. Think about it this way: every time you decide to hit snooze, instead of waking up early to pursue your goals, your future self sees it. Every time you say you'll start the business next year, get healthy next month, or change your life someday, they hear it. And someday never comes. The clock doesn't pause. It doesn't wait for motivation. It ticks on, with or without you. Now imagine this. 10 years from now, you're in the same place, same job, same habits, same excuses, same frustrations. You look back and realize you wasted a decade waiting for the right time. That version of you doesn't need a motivational quote. They need you to wake up. But here's the twist. It doesn't have to go that way. Because just as your negative habits can compound into regret, your positive habits can snowball into transformation. That same future self could be thriving, healthier, wealthier, more confident, more fulfilled, but only if you stop living like your choices don't matter. Let's break this down. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're investing in that future. Every time you read instead of scrolling endlessly, your mind expands. Every time you say no to temptation and yes to consistency, you're building momentum. That version of you is stronger because you chose strength, wiser because you chose learning, more successful because you chose action over fear. And that kind of future self, they're not disappointed, they're grateful. But here's the parts most people miss. You do need to do massive things overnight. In fact, you shouldn't. It's not about waking up tomorrow and suddenly becoming a different person. It's about the micro decisions, the small wins, the uncomfortable but necessary choices made day after day. One healthy meal instead of fast food. One workout instead of skipping. 1 hour of deep work instead of distractions. One moment of courage instead of playing it safe. Compound those decisions over weeks, months, and years, and the results are staggering. Your future self will thank you not for one big heroic act, but for thousands of tiny ones. Let's flip the question now. What if your future self could talk to you right now? What would they say? Maybe they'd beg you to stop wasting time, to stop letting fear run your life, to stop waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action. Maybe they'd detail you the opportunities you're walking past today, want to be there forever. Maybe they'd say, please don't let comfort kill your potential. Or maybe they'd smile, because they know you've started. They know you're no longer playing the victim, that you've stopped blaming your past, that you've stopped waiting to feel ready, and that now, finally, you're taking responsibility for your life. Because that's where everything changes, when you stop being passive and start being intentional. When you realize that you are not just the character in your story, you are the author. You decide how the story unfolds. Not your circumstance, not your past you, but the clock is still ticking. Let me ask you this. What is something you've been putting off for months? That thing that, would make your life better, but you keep telling yourself you'll do it later. Maybe it's getting fit, maybe it's fixing your finances, maybe it's having a hard conversation, starting that passion project, leaving that toxic environment. Now ask yourself, if you keep delaying it for another year, what does your life look like? Now flip it. What if you started today? What if you made the first uncomfortable step right now? That future version of you, the one watching in silence, just leaned forward, because the smallest action today could change everything. Here's a secret successful people understand. They don't wait for clarity. They create it by doing. They don't ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if I succeed? They don't fantasize about their dream life. They design it, brick by brick, while the rest of the world watches Netflix. It's not that they're superhuman, it's that they understand this truth. Everything you do today either builds your future or borrows from it. That includes how you spend your time, who you surround yourself with, what you feed your body and your mind, what habits you repeat, what goals you prioritize, what fears you challenge. It all matters, it all adds up. Now, I know this might feel overwhelming. That's okay. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware that your future is not out of your hands, aware that even when life throws chaos your way, your response still holds power. and aware that you can change the direction at any time. You don't need to be trapped in the script you've been handed, you can rewrite it. The person you want to become is not waiting in the distance. They're being built right now. By what you do when no one's watching, by how you handle frustration, by how often you choose growth over comfort, by whether you finish what you start. The world is full of people waiting to be rescued, waiting for motivation, waiting for luck, waiting for a version of themselves to appear without doing the work. Don't be one of them. Be the person who decides, the one who looks their future self in the eye and says, "I've got you, I'm building you." Because if you don't, who will? This isn't about grinding every second of your life. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions, aligning your lifestyle with your goals, aligning your present with the future you actually want, not the one you settle for. And yes, there will be days you slip, days you feel tired, days when progress feels invisible. But progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, invisible to the world. But it's happening, as long as you keep showing up. And that's all your future self wants. Not perfection, just effort, just honesty, just consistency. So as you go through your day-to-day, ask yourself one question. Is what I'm doing right now helping or hurting the person I want to become? Not in a year, not in 10, but right now, because your future self isn't far away. They're closer than you think. They're watching you, so show them something worth watching. Make them proud. Start.